Now that we've gone over the basic lists and a few methods and functions, let's look at list indexing, where essentially you can access just one specific element within a list based on its index. So first of all, let's talk about what an index is. So you may remember from the JavaScript lectures that we were doing the same thing, but essentially in a list, everything is stored in its position. So this is the first element in the list, this is the second, the third, all the way to the last. Now, indexing starts at 0, so the first element in a list will start with an index of 0. So this number 1 will have an index of 0, the next one will have an index of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and yeah, so that's it. I've just decided at the top here to create a variable that's a string, just to show you that you can also include variables within a list. Now let's look at how we can actually access an element in a list by using the indexing. The syntax is very simple. We just put my list, then straight after we use the square bracket, just like we used to create lists. And then we put in the number of the index. So let's say we want to say, we'll just call this variable a for now. And then we want to print this off. So we're going to print a. So there we go. We've got the first number, which is of 0 index. Now let's say we wanted to access the word hi. Have a pause now and think about what number you'd need to put in here to make that work. So hopefully you got that right. If this one here, if the first one is 0, the next one is 1, 2, 3. So hi is going to be index 3. Fantastic. So finally, let's go for word. So have a pause again and think what you'll need to put in here. So it's going to be, if this one's 0, index 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's going to be index of 6. Let's try that. Fantastic, that seems to be working well. So that's all there is to indexing really. So all you have to do is put in the name of your list, then within square brackets, you just put the index number. So in the next lecture, we're going to be going over how you can capture slices of the list, so including more than just one element. So we'll go over that in the next lecture. So before then, just have a go at this yourself, create yourself a list, and then practice just accessing different elements in the list using this indexing. The last thing I want to mention actually is that you can also index lists within lists. So let's say right in the middle here, I've got one more list, and I'm just going to put that as 1, 2, 3, 4. The syntax is again very simple. So we want to first of all access, this still counts as one element in the list. So we go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is going to be number 5 in the index. Oh, so we need to run this first to re-update the list. There we go. So in the 5th index we get this list. Now if we want to get one element from this list, all we have to do is then again use another square bracket afterwards and put in the index. So let's say we wanted to get the number 3, well that would be index 0, 1, 2 within that list. So basically what we're doing here is we're saying in my list access the 5th, the 5 index. The index that's number 5, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's actually the 6th element in the list, of course, but it's index 5. And then we're saying within that element, that's a list, so we want to access the 3rd element, which is index 2. So if we run that, we'll get the number 3. If we were to put index 0, then we should get the number 1. Now, for a big challenge, I'm going to put a list within a list within a list. So now we have to access a list that's within a list that's within a list. So first of all, to access the main list, we use square brackets and we want to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we put in the 5 index. Then we want to access this one here, which in that list is 0, then 1, so it's index 1. So that should give us that list. If we rerun this, there we go. And then we want to access, let's say, the number 35. We choose one more square bracket, we put 1, and that'll give us 35. So if you're not understanding this completely, the list within the list, don't worry about it too much. We won't be going over that kind of stuff for a while, and we will be revising. If you do, great, but otherwise just focus on having a basic list like this, where you have some numbers and some strings, And just make sure you understand that in order to access one element from the list, we do indexing. So we put the name of the list, square bracket, and then the index number. And the first element always starts at 0. So if I put in 0 here, we'll just get the number 1. So have a go at that yourself, and then I'll see you in the next lecture.